Rocking with the best. Roe Parrish in Studio B. It is Game Time presented by Kia, along with the All-Star champion Steve Smith, who I affectionately call Smitty, and champion MVP Candace Parker, who I affectionately call the MVCP, who was once the #1 overall pick in 2008. Zion Williamson was the top player selected in 2020. And lately...
You didn't have to say the date, bro. You didn't have to do that.
My bad.
You left that out.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thanks.
I can't leave this out, though. Zion, plenty of points in the paint. He doesn't really score outside of that painted area. A lot of points in that area and the free throw line. And you know what? He's been balling. Let's show you what he did tonight coming up against Utah. Donovan Mitchell, they come in winning 5 in a row. Zion focused early. Candace.
Yes, Zion was extremely efficient getting out on the break here, but offensively really did a good job of getting to the paint, which it seems he always does at will.
He's always going to figure out a way to do that. Has not scored outside of the paint so far this season. Donovan Mitchell shooting from Smitty range.
Yeah, the Utah Jazz, and like you said, Donovan Mitchell, a guy we've known to do more of this in his first couple years in the league, but you can see right now he's concentrating on scoring at all 3 levels, and there he is, Zion going right through the chest of Rudy Gobert.
Right through the chest. More on that in a minute. Zion had 32 in the game. Ingram over Mitchell, the All-Star. That would cap an 11-0 Pelicans run. And then Bogdanovich, Utah just raining threes, top of the key. That's too good, Candace.
Yes, but what you didn't see right here, Donovan drawing 2. It comes out right away. He has 3-point shooters that are able to take their time and get good looks.
Speaking of good looks, good look right here. This is Shaq's favorite player. For the kids, Rudy. But then, I'm just saying, the Utah Jazz came into this game. They had knocked down 23s in 4 of the last 6. You see Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, we showed him earlier, finished with 28. Splash. Oh, but
Gotta
wait.
play better defense than that, Pelicans.
Like DJ Khaled said, another one. Clarkson, most points off the bench this season, leading the way. Clarkson, he had 18. The Jazz made 21 3-pointers in the game, shooting like Candace Parker in her heyday. That's just ridiculous. Utah, an NBA leading 6 straight victories. They handled their business over the Pelicans. Donovan Mitchell, 28 in the game. Clarkson with 18, right at his average. Zion with 32. But you know what? When you win the game and you're the leading scorer for the winning team, you get to talk to the Hall of Famer, Grant Hill.
Just talk about your mindset coming into this game this evening.
I think, the biggest thing is, like you said, just trying to be aggressive and in attack mode. Just trying to keep them on their heels. If I get going early and get in the paint, finding guys, whether it's finding guys or scoring, the defense collapses, then other guys get open looks. So I was doing my job and just trying to find ways to, provide a spark. And tonight it was getting to the rim early and trying to be aggressive and score.
You talk about finding your guys. You guys collectively had 28 assists and shot the 3-point ball tremendously. 21 3-pointers made for the game. When you guys are sharing the basketball like that, I mean, it's got to be something to watch and experience from your perspective.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's who we are, moving the ball, getting shots up. We have a lot of weapons, as far as shooting and getting into the paint, guys who can create off the dribble. So be able to use our assets that we have, I think that's the biggest thing. And we're not shy. We get mad when we pass up shots. I think that's the best part about this team, man, is we can encourage everybody to shoot, get in the paint and find guys, and we did a good job of that.
Utah impressive offensively let me just start over. As far as assists go, they made 24 assists in 5 of their last 6. They had 28 in this game against the Pelicans, and they've made at least 23s in 4 of their last 6. Smitty, what's going on with Utah in this offense? Why are they so effective?
Well, they're sharing the basketball, and the ball is not sticking. The hockey pass, the secondary assist, the pass that leads to assist, and then they're getting uncontested threes. Yes, they're knocking them down at a high clip and a high rate, but when you get a chance to stand still and knock down shots, I mean, the ball is moving, but guys know where guys are, and they're putting the basketball right on time, putting it right in the shot pocket, and then there's some guys like Donovan Mitchell is shooting it better, Royce O'Neal is shooting it better, but I'm with Candace Parker. Mike Conley, to me, is the key for the Utah Jazz, and Joe Ingles. Those are the 2 players that has to play at a high level for them to ultimately get to that unbelievable goal. That's winning the NBA championship.
The Pelicans have lost 5 of their last 6. However, one of the bright spots has been Zion Williamson, who's averaging 27 points in those 5 games, and he's shooting 65%. A lot of those buckets, Candace, he's going right in the chest of the opponent.
Yes, and an improvement from last season. Last season, he struggled with size. We saw him play against Rudy Gobert a number of times, got blocks. Here, setting this nice little screen, getting the pocket pass, split stance right there, going right through the chest of Rudy Gobert. And then again, putting him in the middle of the floor, making Rudy Gobert guard him on a closeout. He's able to go right through the chest of a 7-foot guy. And then again, he's not shying away from the contact. He's going through them. He's not fading, so it gives the shot blocker the advantage. He's going through them. And I am with Stan Van Gundy. Zion Williamson should shoot way more free throws than he does, and it's really hard to ref him.
Yes, it is. One of the hardest players to ref ever. Well, check this out. You're going to see him on your screen on Thursday. He's smiling right there, and you should be smiling too, because you get to see Zion. That's the second game. And those Bucks coming off against that loss against the Brooklyn Nets head to La La Land taking on the Lakers. So you got the King and the MVP going at it. You don't want to miss it. More highlights on the way.
Ooh.
Candace Parker, that's how she dishes.
That's how you dish the rock on the show, Ro.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we got to share. Got more game time on the way. What did the Nuggets do? You'll see. Stick around. CP calls him a point post. However, like Kansas, we could be calling him the MVP soon. He's averaging a triple-double. The only player ranked in the top 15 in all these categories on the screen. By the way, he's leading the NBA in assists as a big man. That's ridiculous. Is he a legitimate candidate for MVP? Smitty, Candace, don't answer that just yet. We're going to watch the highlight first. The Thunder looking for their 4th straight road victory. The Joker and company trying to get back in contention. The point post, Candace.
Yes, right there, just doing what he does. He's in his sweet spot. Not much the defense can do.
Makes it look
Candace, did you see that dunk? He tried to pull himself up to make it look like he jumped higher.
The Joker had 15 in the first. Oh, hold up for a minute. The layup coming from Hamidou Diallo. Athletic. The basket is good. Campazzo. Monte Morris.
Okay.
He didn't want to finish it. He had to drop a dime.
Hey.
He was like, this is about to get glass.
Smitty, I think that might be an under the rim nominee. We might see that later on in the week.
Yes, indeed, Ro, for sure. Lou Dort.
Dort playing well. He had 15 in the first half. Jamal Murray, part of a 14-3 run for the Nuggets, getting to the rack, making it look easy. Hey, Denver in control in the second half. Candace, more the Nuggets staying in control with the Joker running the show.
And this is what teams have to prepare for, is that little big pick and roll. You saw that little up screen. That's almost nearly impossible. You can't switch that screen.
Can't do nothing with it. The Joker, 27 and 12, 6 assists. You see Millsap, he gets the layup. Gary Harris. Sparty.
Ooh, nice pass.
Oh.
Okay, the thrill.
Oh, baby.
Okay, Will.
Hey, I like that right there. I don't know if we out of the Drew League or we in Mile High City, but the Nuggets are putting on a show. And then, Candace, Bo, what's good?
Yeah, we're talking point forwards. Well, I don't even know what to call this. Goodness.
Bo letting his presence be known. As Denver gets the victory, 119-101. You see the Joker comes a little bit short of coming up with another triple-double. Nevertheless, still had 27 and 12. Monte Morris with 15. Now, I asked the question at the top of the highlight. Now it's the time to answer. Smitty, starting with you, is the Joker a legitimate MVP candidate?
He is. I mean, look at those numbers, averaging a triple-double. What I'm impressed about is he is averaging close to 2 steals. He is doing it all. He is in tip-top shape for the Joker. I also like that he's playing more in the paint. He is posting up. He's doing everything. One thing he's missing, Candace and Ro, he doesn't have enough W's. He has to win some more games to get a chance to be in that conversation where we're saying legit. But numbers-wise, individual play, for sure, he is definitely in that MVP conversation.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Smitty. I don't know if they have right now quite enough wins, and I don't know if they have enough to get those wins. We live in a world we understand of, well, what have you done for me lately? We saw Russell Westbrook a couple years ago get MVP with them being 7th in the West. I don't know if that happens again. The big man, we get mistreated and disrespected. So him averaging a triple-double, I don't know if people are really going to appreciate it unless they're top 3 or top 4 in the West.
Right now, they're a half game back of that final spot in the Western Conference, and we know things are a little bit different with the playoffs, the way they shake up this season. So they could get in the play-in games, perhaps, if they don't inch up as the season goes on. I can't wait to see it because I love watching the point post play. Speaking of a point post, y'all ain't know what's going on? Yes, indeed. Something that you've been waiting to see. It is the Court of Candace, and it is now officially in session. We will be here to cross-examine, but ultimately you have the judge, the jury, and in some cases the executioner right here, right before your eyes. So, Candace, we've seen everything that's been going on with the Big Three, so we want to put this out there. Is this actually going to work? That is the question posed today.
Well, first and foremost, I want to say that I got props. But this show, now that we're in Atlanta, I got props. But here's the big thing, and this is the big question. The Big Three. What do we have, bro? What? Give me the accolades.
All right, so you see the resume on the screen because we're going to set everything up perfectly so you have all the information that you need. We already know about KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. The resume is impeccable, like T.I. once said. But before we go here, let's check out Kyrie because he's missed the last 7 games due to personal reasons and health and safety protocol. This is the first time we've heard from him earlier Tuesday, and he was transparent and showed accountability. Take a listen.
I'm a hometown kid, so things hit a little different when, family or personal stuff going on, and that's up to me to handle that as a man. But yeah, I just take full accountability for my absence with the guys and, just had a conversation with each one of them and we move on. It's, pretty interesting in watching when you take a break from everything. There's just so many assumptions about what's going on. And so many people feel like they know me best. And they have no idea who I am, nor what I'm about, or what I stand for, or even attempt to take the time, or even for me to invite them to take the time. So it's a two-way street. And when things become overwhelming in life, you just got to take a step back and realize what's important. And I love to play. It's never been questioned. I've committed myself, when this wasn't even a thing for me. I didn't really care about media, didn't really care about the fandom. All I cared about was just the ethics of the game and being taught the fundamentals. And now that it's become bigger and there's more of a responsibility that I have in this position I'm in, I'm grateful because I'm able to stand on this platform with others alongside of me that have sacrificed and are going through similar things. So I'm not alone in this. And, that's just a big thing about also mental health, just coming in and being balanced with yourself first and then being able to perform. With everything going on in the world, politically, socially, like I said, it's hard to ignore. I want to make changes daily. There are so many oppressed communities, so many things going on that are bigger than just a ball going in the rim. So for me, I just, like I said, it's just the balance of it, of knowing I can delegate my responsibilities off the court to people that I'm surrounded around that are for the fight and are fighting behind the scenes and in front in the lines. And like I said, I'm not the only one that's fighting, so I'm grateful to unify with others, and that's all I've tried to do. And on the court, the same way, just play with a smile, leave something that I've felt very dear to my heart with this game, and then, whatever my legacy is after that as a person, that's all I really care about.
So a lot to unpack right there. Kyrie said a whole bunch, but we're in Candace's court. So in other Big Threes, we know there's always a player that has to sacrifice. You think about Dennis Rodman back in the day with the Bulls. Maybe you think about James Worthy, present day Ray Allen with the Big Three, with the Celtics, Chris Bosh, and so on and so on. So Kyrie now appears to be the third in pecking order. James Harden's the primary ball handler. KD is KD. Their chemistry is undeniable. Candace, is this going to work?
Well, Ro, you bring up a great point. You talked about other Big Threes. And with that, you talk about Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan, and Dennis Rodman. It is known which of the Big Three is the lesser Big Three. Same thing with Miami. You talk about Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, the pecking order. Everyone knew who was going to take the last shot. Everyone knew who was going to have to sacrifice. D. Wade being one of the ones that had a championship, LeBron going for a championship, Chris Bosh coming to join the party. So I think that pecking order was a lot different. And the same thing goes with other big threes. You even talk about the Spurs and their dynasty with their big three, which changed in the future with Kawhi being added to that eventually. But in the case of this, it is debatable. Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving has won a championship. James Harden is that third piece that's coming to a team. Also, you take into effect teams that have drafted players that haven't traded in terms of big threes. So none of these players have been with this franchise for an extremely long time. KD and Kyrie decided to come over this summer. But for me, I think success goes off of if three guys are at their point in their career when they're ready to win together. Because we saw one of the best big threes that could have ever possibly been was OKC, who drafted Russell Westbrook, drafted James Harden, and Kevin Durant. So with that being said, if they were 25-26 instead of 21-22, would they have won championships? So I'm going to go at all of these guys are at the stage in their career when they're ready to win, they're ready to sacrifice, and they're men, not boys, as James Harden said.
Now, this isn't something that's out of your jurisdiction. You've been a part of big threes in your career as well. You and Nneka Ogwumike were the primary option, but there was other players that had to, in some cases, sacrifice as well. How did you handle that situation?
I think there is a pecking order, but there's also an ability for everybody to understand that within whatever game, anybody can rise to the occasion. As we've seen just in terms of with LeBron leaning on D. Wade for leadership, knowing what it's taken. There's a lot of times you don't know what it takes to win a championship, and guys are striving for that. One of the best players in the game, LeBron James, did not know what it took to win a championship until he went to Miami and played with other great players. So I think James Harden is searching for that closer, which is KD and Kyrie. And I think that they're going to complement each other. I think everybody's debating, they're listening to all of this, and they're understanding that they have a responsibility to prove us wrong, because nobody believes it's going to work. But guess what? I think it's going to work. I got them winning a championship. I have them winning a championship in Brooklyn. I did not say this year. I said within 3 years, the Brooklyn Nets will have a championship.
And that is the fact beyond reasonable doubt. Smitty, I know that you've been a part of some special teams, an all-star in 98 with the Atlanta Hawks. You had Mookie Blaylock and you had Dikembe Mutombo. That was your big three in the ATL. Your thoughts on this current big three?
Well, Candace said it best. And just to add to that, it comes down to communication, but it also comes down to transparent communication. And also, you got to understand is when you win in a championship, things go on in the locker room. You're going to have to be able to definitely have those conversations that you don't want to have. And that's what I think me, Dikembe, and Mookie had. I mean, we had times where we would go at each other. I mean, and it was all like Candace said, because we all was ready to win and we were trying to win. I think for this big three right now is somebody's going to have to sacrifice. Somebody's going to be more of a facilitator. Some people's going to have to defend more. But I think more importantly, you're going to also have to understand is you can't exclude your other teammates. They got to feel a part of this when you want to win a championship, because it's more than just that big three. And if they can get those guys involved and not stand around in constant motion, I think they'll be okay.
There it is. No objection for Candace and Smitty. Case closed in Candace's court. Oh, man, hold up. Shouts out to Curtis. When did Candace Parker become the NBA Chief Justice of the Supreme Court? Hey, Curtis, you ain't know? Come on.